What's up, YouTube? MikeDec is here, and I'm bringing you a black and white UU battle against Haydunn. He was on TPX one day, and I asked for a battle, and this is what happened. I'm sure most of you are coming over from ProjectMoshPit, checking out my channel and watching this video. So hopefully I can give you guys a good show. So sit back and enjoy. He starts off with, I start from my fail, the Archeops, as he starts off with his big pimpin', the Roserade. I'm expecting a focus sash, so I'm going to go straight for the acrobatics, and honestly, Archeops is basically the most useful thing I need to put to sleep, because based on his team, Archeops is going to be the most useless because of defeatist. So I go for acrobatics, kind of just expecting him to go down to sash, but it ends up straight up one-hit KOing, which is sick. Because now I don't have to worry about that thing anymore. Brings out Donphan, and I don't want to take an Ice Shard to the face, so I gotta go out to Slowbro, who is basically going to wall this thing for days. And he sets up a Stealth Rock, I guess obviously predicting my switch. Safe play is safe, so I'm going to go right for the Scald no matter what, and he brings in his Blink Blink, which is the Zapdos. And this Scald does like absolutely jack. So I'm assuming this is some kind of specially defensive variant. So I just can't do anything to it. So I'm going to switch out, expecting a Thunderbolt, and I'm going to go into Flygon. He predicts my switch, and he goes for a Heat Wave. I guess he was predicting my Registeel to come in. But this is a good position for me, so he's probably going to end up being forced to switch out because he is especially bulky. So I'm going to go for a U-turn just to see what he brings in. I'm assuming Donphan's going to come in to resist a potential Stone Edge. And if it does, I can bring out an appropriate counter. So he does go back into Donphan. I'm going to go for the U-turn, break it sturdy, and I'm going to go out to my... I was thinking of going out to Raikou, but I didn't want to reveal that too early. And I'm going to decide to go right out to my Rotom, because if I could burn this thing, it's not going to hurt. And so yeah, I'm basically going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. And at this point, I don't know what his thought process was in this next turn. I go for Will-O-Wisp, and I miss because 75% accuracy sucks. And he goes for EQ, but I have Levitate. So I guess maybe he forgot about Rotom's Levitate or something. I don't know. You don't really see a lot of Rotom in 4th gen, so maybe he just didn't really realize it. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So, but he realizes he can't stay in now, so he's going to switch out. And he's go back to Blink Blink. I'm going to go for Lewis again, because honestly, anything on his team burned is not that big, is going to help me out in some way possible. And it ends up missing twice. So I want to see how much T-Bolt does, because this is modest max special attack. And so he's going to go for a Toxic, which really sucks, because this completely ruins this Rotom's survivability. And I go for T-Bolt, and it does a decent amount. I'm thinking maybe Overheat will bring it to a really, really good point. Maybe he'll predict a switch and go for, you know, maybe an attacking move again, and I can just 2-hit KO it. So I go for Overheat, and it's actually going to do like nothing that I wanted to, which shows how especially bulky Zapdos could really be. Maybe I think it does like a little less than half. And he's gonna go for a Roost. I guess obviously either predicting a switch, predicting my Overheat. So yeah, that's a good play for him, and I cannot stay in now because I'm at -2 and I'm Toxic. So there's no way in hell that Rotom could do anything anymore. So I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna go into Archeops because I'm thinking maybe the Flygon switch is too obvious. So I don't think he's gonna use T-Bolt. So I go out into my Archeops as he goes for the Toxic, which ends up missing, but it honestly is not going to make any difference at all. So he goes for Toxic. I'm going to go for HP Ice, honestly, because I was expecting Donphan to come in, because Stone Edge is really freaking obvious. Like, if you see this thing, you think, okay, I'm going to Stone Edge. So I go for HP Ice, because I knew that would do a ton to Donphan, but he stays in, I guess, I don't know, predicting me to predict that switch, and he goes for T-Bolt, and just absolutely rolls me over and takes me out. So I mean, safe play was safe. Good for him. Maybe he was banking on Stone Edge miss. Maybe he was doing something, but that Zapdos is looking strong now. And so I got to go out into my Registeel. I'm going to go out to Registeel now because I'm thinking, okay, I should get this thing Toxic because I can get some residual damage first. I was thinking of going for Stealth Rock first, but I thought if he stays in and tries to KO me, Toxic will do more damage, and then I can get a Stealth Rock anyway because I know it's not going to 3-hit KO. So, Heat Wave does like around a third. With leftovers, it's not going to be a 3-hit KO. It'll probably be 4-hit KO. So now I'm going to get my rocks up because I can, really. And he's going to switch out and he's going to go into his Drunk as Fuck, which is his Hitmontop. I'm going to get my rocks up, and I am absolutely not going to want to stay in here. So I'm going to be forced to switch out. I'm going to go back out to Slowbro. He predicts this quite nicely and goes for a bulk up. So I think now that I kind of realize I need to get this thing burned if I want to do something to it. So I think I'm going to go for the Scald. It's really the best play right now. I don't want to reveal I have Psychic yet in case he thinks that this thing can beat me. So I'm going to, which even if like it really can't. So I'm going to go for the Scald, and maybe I thought he would like switch into like Weavile or something. I don't know why. Maybe predicting a Psychic. So I'm going to go for the Scald. It's not going to burn. It's not going to do jack. So also he Sucker Punch, predicting my expected attack, which was pretty obvious play. So now I'm predicting a Sucker Punch again because it's doing a pretty good amount. So I'm going to go straight for a Scald. But he ends up predicting my, not Scald, I'm going to go for a Slack Off. So he ends up predicting my Slack Off quite nicely and goes right out to Zapdos. And I can't lose Slowbro yet, so I have to switch out. I'm debating on going into Flygon, but I thought that'd be too obvious and he'd try to Toxic it. So I'm going to go out into, or try to Roost Up. So I'm going to go out into Rotom so I can get a Pain Split off. Because if he roosts, he'll be back at higher HP. But he ends up predicting my switch into Flygon and goes out into Weavile, which is actually a pretty good matchup for me because I can get this thing burned. And so, which is actually, I decided to go for the Will-O-Wisp here because I figured if I get this thing burned, then I could just completely roll it. I'm also kind of pissed that Will-O-Wisp missed twice. So it's like I could go for the Overheat and kill it, but I also want to get this burn just so like I hit it once this match. So I go for Will-O-Wisp. Ends up being, it looks like there's no Life Orb recourse, so the thing ends up being banded. I live with 10 HP. I was shocked that I lived a banded Night Slash. But Rotom, this Rotom does have a good amount of bulk invested into it, so that was pretty sick. So he goes for a Night Slash, and I know now it's Choice Banded, so I'm going to go right out to Registeel to force a switch. And if he wants to leave it in, I'm going to go right for the Iron Head. Basically just, I don't know if he wants to fodder it or not, and I know he's not going to bring in Zapdos, because if I S-Toss, it will just kill it. He brings out the Hitmontop. I'm going to go right to, I'm going to do the safe play, go right out to, I'm sorry. I'm going to go right out to Slowbro, because Slowbro I know now could wall this Hitmontop for days. And now if he brings out, I basically have him cornered, because he either has to leave this thing and to die, or maybe he'll switch into Zapdos thinking he can live a Scald. But I'm going to go for the Psychic now. And I know Psychic will take out Zapdos from that point in time. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the, after all these after turn effects, I'm going to go for the Psychic. He does in fact bring the Zapdos, and my little trap to bring this thing in worth and take this thing out. So I'm going to go for the Psychic. And yeah, down goes the Zapdos, which is sick. Because now Slowbro is basically free to completely wall his entire team for days if he wanted to. So basically, down goes Zapdos. That's basically his last chance of taking down Slowbro bar crit with his Weavile. So he brings out the Weavile now, because the burn Weavile is like pretty much useless. So he's gonna go right for the Night Slash. It's gonna do like jack. And I'm gonna go for the Flamethrower just to 100% make sure I could take this thing out. And yeah, that Slowbro can spit fire. It's pretty scary. That big derpy thing just threw a big flaming whatever out at that Weavile. So yeah, Slowbro's looking pretty like beastly right now. He's broing out right now, and he's gonna bring out Drunk as Fuck. And I'm predicting Sucker Punch, so I'm gonna go right for the Slack Off because I want to get back to full HP, so I can easily deal with his last two guys. So now I know Sucker Punch won't do anything because he doesn't have a bulk up, so I'm gonna go right for the Psychic to guarantee that I'm gonna take this thing out. So he does in fact go for Sucker Punch. It does nothing because he doesn't have that +1 anymore. And Psychic is easily going to take that out. So I'm looking really, Slowbro's now looking like a champ. And he's down to his last two guys, which is the Donphan and the guy who I haven't seen, which is this Aerodactyl. and Scald is going to absolutely wreck this thing. It's like there's not even any prediction. I don't care. He has last 2 guys. Scald's going to hit both. There's no way he's going to bring Donphan in now. I'm going to go right for the Scald and just take this thing out. Sonen's Judge is like a third, which is amazing. A Life Orb Aerodactyl, which Aerodactyl has a huge attack stat, and that does a third. Slowbro is just like a freaking monster. So down goes Aerodactyl, and now he's left with the Donphan, and I'm going to go for a Scald, just take it out. Basically, it's going to be a crit, but the crit's basically useless, so yeah, that's going to be the game. Because I have the, what's it called? The Rayco to take it out with HPI, so he killed me. So good game, Haydunn. Be sure to check out his channel if you haven't already. If you guys like my stuff, please drop a comment, rate it. If you like my stuff, please subscribe. I'm hoping to bring some good stuff for you guys soon, and yeah, that's basically going to be the game. So peace out, guys. MikeDec's out of here.